AITA for confronting my hard of hearing housemates about her repeatedly walking in on me in the shower. I am 20, live in a student house with 3 girls, F20, and 2 guys, M20. Since moving in, I have been walked in on in the shower 3 times, all by the same girl. Every time, she has used her partial deafness as an excuse. That was fair enough the first time. The shower is admittedly pretty quiet, but it has since happened 2 more times. The second and third times, I suggested that she knock in future. Both times she apologized, saying she forgot. I figured that this must have happened to the others in the house as well at some point, so I had a chat with them about it, hoping that we could come up with a way to broach the subject without hurting her feelings. Well, they knew nothing about it. Apparently this only happened to me. I found this suspicious, and so did the others. Half of them agreed that I should confront her about it, while the others told me to leave it. I was content with leaving it, but then it happened again, and I decided to be more firm when tackling the issue this time. I told her I knew she was doing this on purpose and that I would like her to stop. She burst into tears and accused me of being disableist. Apparently I wasn't appreciating her inability to hear the shower running. I responded by telling her I understand, but that I have asked her repeatedly to knock before entering so that I can make my presence known to her, something she still refuses to do. I then brought up how I found it odd that this has only ever happened to me and no one else. She was angry and embarrassed that I told the others about it. She insulted me, calling me a perv and telling me my dick was small, then ran to her room and slammed the door. The others heard everything from downstairs. The guys and one of the girls told me I was out of line for bringing them into it and for pushing the issue when she started crying. The other girl said I was in the right for defending my right to shower in peace, and that the girl who keeps walking in on me needs to have her head examined for the inappropriate way she reacted to being called out. What do you guys think? To hear? NTA. It's sexual harassment and people would lose their shit if it were a guy doing it to a girl all the time. It being a girl doing it to you constantly doesn't mean she should be allowed off the hook, and to use her hearing loss is bullshit. I have a deaf friend, fully deaf, no sound at all, who puts her hand on the door and can feel the vibration of the shower running. There is 100% no reason your housemate can't do that. But also, why haven't you started locking the door? It doesn't have a lock and we're not allowed to get one put in. NTA. It's telling that she called you a perv. What if you were on the toilet? No shower noise there. What if you were out of the shower but dressing? No shower noise there. It's weird to barge in. 2 things to be done here. First, lock the door. Second, make a sign bathroom in use, do not enter, and stick it on the door at eye height when you go in. Make it large and impossible to miss. 10 to 1 she'll still barge in on you and tell you she didn't see it. NTA. She is using her disability to justify her actions, and that isn't fair. If it is only happening to you and she is refusing to knock, then she is doing it on purpose. Why don't you just lock the door, though? It doesn't have a lock, and our contract with the landlord forbids us from making alterations to the house. NTA. Circumstantial evidence suggests that she does it on purpose to ogle you in the shower. That's repeated sexual harassment. You had every right to confront her and also use the info you got from the other roommates to call her out on the lie how she just forgot to knock and couldn't hear the shower. Honestly, if the gender roles were reversed, she would have been chewed out on her inappropriate behavior a long time ago by your roommates. Install a lock or buy a door stopper. AITA for not allowing my wife to send our son away for what he said to her. 2 weeks ago my wife's parents passed away in a car accident. Her father was 65 and her mother was 63. My wife has been completely devastated since. She is an only child and was extremely close to her parents. They were wonderful people and I also grieve their loss. The issue of this post stems from our son. Our son is 15 and has been pretty unempathetic to his mother. He is fairly introverted and started pulling away from his grandparents and us at 13 and now spends most of his time playing video games. He didn't react much to the news of their death. I have tried talking to him about it a few times, but he has told me that he didn't feel that close to them. I still have to go into work while my wife is on bereavement leave. Our son is doing 100% online learning and is also home all day. Since the accident, my wife and son have had several bad interactions. Examples: wife was crying in the bedroom and son barges in and asks when dinner is. Wife asks him to make himself something. He rolls his eyes and walks away. Wife set up online Zoom funeral with her aunt and cousins, her only remaining family, and asks son to attend. He gets on the call from his room but was on his phone the entire time and didn't wear a shirt. Wife asks if son would like anything from his grandparents' house as a memory. He loudly replies nope and walks away. The big incident came 2 days ago. I was at work when my wife called me sobbing. What happened is that she was in the living room playing some old videos with her parents when son comes in. He asks to use the TV to play a video game and she says to give her an hour. She then asks him to join her. His reply was, "Mom, I honestly don't give a shit. They were old and gonna die anyways, can you just get over it already?" She sent him to his room and called me. I talked to him about it when I got home and made him apologize, but it clearly wasn't sincere. It upset my wife even more and she asked to speak with me that night. She told me that she is having a hard time grieving with them constantly sharing the same space and him being rude and dismissive of her. She proposed that he spend 2 weeks with my sister since they have a similarly aged son he is good friends with. She wants the 2 weeks to go through everything from their house, deal with the legal stuff, and really process her grief. I do understand where she is coming from, but I shut her down. I told her that it is unfair to send him away and that if she needs some time apart from him, she needs to be the one who goes. She argued that she needed my support through this and if she goes, she has no one. I told her I loved her but our son comes first. She slept in the guest bedroom that night and hasn't spoken to me since. Feel horrible and am second guessing my decision. Was I the asshole here? Too long didn't read. Wife's parents died and son has been unsympathetic and rude. She wants to send him away and I said no. Edit. I apologized to my wife and called my sister. My son is going there for the 2 weeks, leaving tomorrow. I'd appreciate if you all stopped calling him such horrible names based on this one post. I recognize that this behavior clearly isn't as normal as I thought it was. I was really similar as a kid and just ended up getting over myself as an adult. I'm looking into some child physiologists for my son and some couples therapy for my wife and I. She hasn't forgiven me yet, but no, she isn't divorcing me. Thank you for your comments. We can't host this discussion if you guys make it about school shootings. It's disappointing to see many of our active users who know our violence rules causing this thread to be locked. AITA, her idea is valid and no punitive towards your son. Seems like you have not done anything related to his nasty behavior, even before this. This time this is towards your wife. Would you do anything if his behavior was towards you? Info, op. Did you also attend the Zoom funeral from home? If so, did you attempt to get your son to clothe himself respectfully when you saw him shirtless? AITA, your wife lost both her parents, at the same time, and is suggesting the person disrespecting her grieving process go have a sleepover with a cousin. He is not exactly being punished here. She needs time to mourn and your son is not only ignoring her needs, he is being very cavalier about the death, making it harder for your wife. At 15, surely he must understand that it's hard to lose a family member. What has happened in his upbringing that this part didn't go through? You say your son comes first. What I don't get is how is this a competition? You're feeling a-okay, son gets to go spend time with a cousin, or your wife gets to hear all about how her son doesn't give a shit about her parents or her. It's like comparing hitting your funny bone and having cardiac arrest. Sure, you can check out the damn elbow, but maybe the cardiac patient needs more help here. And BTW, I don't assume your son is okay. He is probably feeling very confused and has no clue how to handle it. You should probably get him some help. But from your title, I assumed your wife was insulted by his attitude and wanted him out permanently. This is nothing. Let the woman grieve. AITA, your son is being intentionally hurtful and disrespectful. This means your wife is not the problem. On top of that, she is the one experiencing the grief. Did her parents reject your son in any way? He isn't being just disrespectful but obviously hostile. AITA for kicking my mom out after ruining our engagement announcement. TBH, I don't know why this is being turned against us, but doesn't hurt to know from others if this was really an asshole moment or family being family. I, 25M, have been with my fiancée Tanya, 25F, for 5 years. My mom never approved of Tanya, all because she has an 8-year-old son, Alex. Yeah, she did have him young. We dated for a year and a half before she was comfortable with me meeting Alex. Me and him have been best friends ever since. Seriously, I love that kid to death. And that's the issue my mom has. She doesn't like that I'm close with Alex, so she says stupid jokes or comments how Tanya shouldn't be tying me down with a kid and maybe she should get his real dad to do that. She thinks Tanya as this stereotypical teen mom whose baby daddy bailed when that's not it at all. Alex's dad passed away while she was pregnant. It deeply traumatized her since she saw it happen and never was comfortable sharing that because it's too painful to talk about. I figured this was her story to tell, and if she didn't want to say anything I wouldn't either. Never told my mom but always told her she needed to stop talking that way about Tanya, and for the most part she did whenever she saw how it pisses me off. It's been a constant thing with her no matter how many times I fight with my mom over it. Last weekend we had my parents over to our apartment along with my sister, and we announced we're getting engaged. Everyone else was happy for us, but OFC my mom had to go and ruin it with a passive-aggressive joke. I guess you couldn't find Alex's dad after all. Seriously, when we were all just celebrating, she went and killed it. That was it for me. Tanya wasn't happy either. Can't say almost everything I said because of character limit, but basically said for years she never respected my relationship or Tanya when she never did anything wrong. She raised a great kid that I love and they're going to be a part of my life. So if she can't accept that or respect my future wife, then she needs to leave my apartment. Everyone was very serious and my mom just got up and left mad. I apologized to my dad. He told me he's sorry too. Only person left was my sister, and she had a lot to say about kicking my own mum out. She agreed my mom was horrible, but that's not how you do things. I retold the rest of this to my cousins and also my best friend, who all sort of feel the same way. My mom hasn't actually apologized, and I've heard from my dad that she's telling everyone how disrespectful I'm being and how embarrassing it felt to be kicked out of my apartment. I feel like I'm losing it here. I don't get how it's so wrong when she had the choice to stay and accept that I'm getting married and respect my fiancé. Was I really an asshole in any way in this situation? It feels weird having to ask, but here we are. NTA, I'm sorry. That sounds terrible. Your mom was way out of line, no matter what her motivations were or what knowledge she had regarding your fiancé. Congrats on your engagement. It sounds like you and Tanya will have some big challenges ahead of you. One observation moving forward: protect Alex at all costs, especially with regard to your mother. Thanks. Not sure how things are gonna be in the future, but we'll always be thinking whatever's best Alex. She never actually says anything when he's around, so at least we didn't have to worry about that in the past. You are definitively NTA. Words have meaning. Actions have consequence. She said something horrible and deserves the most simple consequence of being asked to leave. What a disgusting thing for her to have done. Edit, you didn't even kick her out. You gave her an opportunity to reframe her thoughts and she left. You are so not in the wrong here. Congrats on the engagement.